Hey everybody, Soul Citizen here. Today we're going to answer the question, is Star Citizen worth backing in 2018? This is a question that I've been asked a few times. Once by a viewer and actually as a request for a video for me to make, and a couple times by personal friends of mine who have seen some of my content coming out and were curious about the game in general. Most people who've been watching Star Citizen for any significant amount of time will know that just this Christmas we got our first really big addition to the game in the form of the 3.0 live build. Yes, there have been other additions to the game previously, but like I've said in a lot of my other videos, 3.0 is a landmark achievement for Star Citizen and its team. It is the foundation that the remaining part of the game will be built upon. Now, one thing I'd like to start off with is I do think that 2018 is one of the best years yet to become a backer for Star Citizen, and that really boils down to return on investment. Unlike a lot of other times in Star Citizen's history, pretty much everything before 3.0, you can buy a game package today, get into the game today, and start running missions, start doing cargo runs, and get interacted with the other people on the Persistent Universe servers and just pretty much have a good time. Now, a quick thing, yes, as many people know, performance in 3.0 is not what any of us want it to be. I am going to put out a video pretty soon here about simple performance fixes that can raise your FPS, but just be aware that if you have a minimum spec system according to the RSI website, which I'll link down below, you're not going to be seeing fantastic performance. It's also highly recommended to buy an SSD if you don't already have one to run Star Citizen on. The game runs as a whole much better off of an SSD. Load times are reduced, frame rates are up if you're running off an SSD, so that's something you really need to look at. If you don't have an SSD in your current system, that adds a pretty large expense on top of the $45 to $60 you're going to end up spending on a game package. Now, I do think that buying into Star Citizen right now is probably a very good decision. Why do I say that? Because in my honest opinion, probably some point during this calendar year, the price of the package, including both Star Citizen and Squadron 42, will probably raise. Especially if we see a Squadron 42 Episode 1 release sometime in 2018, you can really expect to see that become a $60 item by itself. So you are winning out by buying one of the starter packages like the Mustang or the Aurora. That's a combo package that comes with the single player side of the game as well. If you want to save some money and get in early, now is probably a very good time. With that said, one thing I always try to advise people to do is watch Star Citizen. Like, go through some of the older videos, look at where the game was at a year ago, look at where the game is at today, and maybe look at my video, Star Citizen in 2018, to see where it's headed. Because that's really what you need to ask yourself. What do you want from this game by buying it? Are you buying the game because you believe in the product that will eventually come out? Or are you buying the game because you've seen some really fancy gameplay footage on YouTube and you're expecting that walking into the game? Because if you answered yes to the second question, you might want to hold off and maybe wait it out until 3.1, which should be around in March, or 3.2 later in the year. And why I say that is because, in my personal opinion, the performance optimizations that are coming soon, we'll probably see one during January if I had to guess, probably later January, but still, are really going to make the game that much more playable. If you have a low spec system, right now might not be the time. Because what I've heard from a few people is, oh, I decided to back this game and I have an older computer, I don't have an SSD, and I booted it up, I'm getting 3 frames per second, I'm not enjoying it, and now I'm really frustrated. And that's why I do think that videos like this are important. This is obviously, all of this is my personal opinion, but that's what you guys come here for. You come here so that I can do the research and then give you guys a few facts, and you can make your own independent decision based on this. Also, go out and watch a couple other videos from all the other great Star Citizen creators that are out there on YouTube. This game is definitely in a very early state. Remember, we're still in alpha, heavy alpha. There's still a lot of bugs and glitches in the game, things that require workarounds. Optimization isn't quite there yet. So it's really about using your caution and using your brain to be like, okay, here's where the game is. And be realistic with yourself. Know where it is by doing some research and then make the decision. Now, just so you guys are aware, if you do decide to back Star Citizen, I'm going to be putting out a video quite soon explaining the differences between the starter packages, starter ships, and why I personally think that if you are going to get into the game, I do recommend a path where you buy the Mustang or the Aurora and almost immediately upgrade to something like the Avenger. It'll make you a lot more mission ready, and it'll allow you to get into things like commodities training. There's a lot that you can do with the two first starter ships, the lowest tier of ships. So don't rush out and immediately buy a more expensive ship. Start off with those, get some gameplay under your belt, figure out what you want to do inside the game, figure out what you want your role to be, and then go from there. This game is going to have so many different avenues on the MMO side of which way you can go. So maybe like before you run out and buy a really expensive ship, figure out what it is you want to do, because a pirate, a commodities trader, a bounty hunter, and a militiaman all have different requirements in terms of their ship. Or maybe you want to get into mining with the prospector, or any of those things. Definitely get some research, some gameplay, and an idea of who you want to be in the verse under your belt before you run out there and buy a package. Now, if you guys have any questions or you want to see any other specific videos, just let me know. Drop a comment, drop a like, maybe subscribe. This channel's growing pretty quickly. We gained 30 followers just yesterday, so the more that you guys help this channel grow, the more it'll benefit you. The more videos I can make, the better quality they will be, and then eventually, maybe once we get towards 1,000 subscribers, we're going to start doing giveaways of game packages and ships. So there's a lot to look forward to, not just in Star Citizen this year, but with this channel in general. Thank you so much for your support. Soul Citizen out.